Today it's a face-off between Millie Bobby Brown and Halsey, but it's not what you might think. Today it's a makeup face-off, and we're talking about their celebrity makeup lines, but specifically only two products head-to-head, the eyebrow pencils. So we're going to be looking at the Florence by Mills, which is Millie Bobby Brown's celebrity makeup line. This is the Tint and Tame eyebrow pencil, and if you've been around my channel for a while, you probably already know that I have recently discovered and fallen in love with this eyebrow pencil as an everyday eyebrow pencil, and then I do couple it with some other products to get a more glam look, but I do use this one regularly. Well, recently Ulta had their spring beauty sale, which was formerly the 21 days of beauty, and they had about face products for a good deal, and I decided it was the perfect time to try out some products from Halsey's line About Face. And so I picked up the Brow Artist so that we can do a head-to-head comparison on the eyebrow products for someone who doesn't have a lot of eyebrows to work with, and they're both plastic pencils, both cruelty-free and vegan. And this Millie Bobby Brown Tint and Tame does come with a spoolie. I'm not sure. This Brow Artist one might, because it does have two sides. So I do have the shade medium brown in the Florence by Mills, and I have the shade chocolate brown in the About Face Brow Artist Work of Art. Very cute name. So I know and love this product already. I'm going to just apply it on one side, and then I will come back and apply the About Face on the other. So this pencil is a kind of waxy consistency that does apply nice and easily without tugging. It is a triangular thicker point tip there. Very hard to get into focus. There we go. So I'm going to start by applying this on my left eyebrow, and I think I'll speed through this because no one wants to watch me do my brows. It's a long, boring process because I don't have a lot of brows to work with. I really do have to fill in. However, you might want to see quickly, briefly here, how it applies. Like I said, it's a waxy pencil. It does glide easily, but it also isn't too creamy. And again, I have tried this one many times and I do love it and wear it. So it's not so creamy that it moves around or you end up with your eyebrow on funny places of your face. It does seem to stay put, especially once it kind of sets and dries down. So I can't get completely precise with this pencil because of the size of it, but again, because I need a lot to fill in, it does help kind of do it somewhat quickly. And when I need to get more precise, that's when I include the other brow products that I like to use in addition to this one, which I will link that video so that you can check out how I pair it with other products to get a more crisp and full glamorous look. And because I'm talking, you can see that I've made a mess, but it will be easy to clean it up because it does wipe away quite easily. So it's not too bad if you accidentally color outside the lines a little bit. And you can see I'm applying it so that it's a bit dark. And the reason I'm doing that is, again, because I do have such sparse brows. By the time I spoolie this through with the other side, it will be not quite as harsh. So it looks pretty harsh before the spoolie, but I will do the spoolie that is conveniently located here on the other side and just pull it through a couple times, and it really softens that look up. and you can see when I pull it up, sometimes it gets a little bit out of bounds again, but it does wipe away quite easily. So there we have one brow done. That was the Florence by Mills Tint and Tame pencil, and you can see it has built up a lot from my sparse brow. So now let's try the Halsey pencil. Now on to the About Face pencil by Halsey. This comes in the plastic packaging that I'm going to remove it from. Again, this is in the shade Chocolate Brown. And I did say I was going to speed through the application of the eyebrow pencil on the other one, and then I talked through it, plus decided not to because it makes more sense for you to watch the whole thing. So I'm gonna go ahead and not speed through this. We're gonna watch it in real time. So this is the Brow Artist from About Face. And this is my very first product from About Face. And this is my one and only product from Florence by Mills as well. So like I said, we're really just head-to-heading just the eyebrow products. Before I get into the About Face pencil too much, let me quickly jump back to the Florence by Mills pencil and just briefly touch on the packaging here. So it is a nice plastic. It's not flimsy. It's not the most luxurious packaging. It's fine. I will say that I do equate it, I feel like it's very similar to the e.l.f. brow pencil packaging. It's very similar to that, and the top part has stayed on fine. The spoolie cover has cracked in multiple places, and I have traveled with it. It goes in my makeup bag. It has traveled and things like that. So I don't expect it to be perfect, but it definitely sometimes can fall off in my makeup bag and things like that, because now that it's broken, it's kind of loose. So I appreciate it that it does have the spoolie. It definitely doesn't stand up to taking a beating very well. It's not the sturdiest packaging. Now this retails for $16 at Ulta, and it has 0.25 grams of product in here. Now let's switch over to the About Face, which also retails for $16 at Ulta, and it has how many grams? 0.2 grams of product, so it does have just slightly less product than the Florence by Mills for the same price. So this one is a little bit better deal. This one's a little bit more expensive. The About Face is a little bit more expensive. Okay, now that I'm opening it up, it does have a very similar tip to the Florence by Mills. It is a thick triangular tip and so hard to capture on camera. On this part where it dispenses, the plastic is a bit thicker, making the inner product actually a bit thinner, and therefore hopefully a bit easier to be more precise and control with. Again, so hard. This one's so hard to get in focus. Then on the other side, we do have a spoolie with, so the cap looks like it is, yep, exactly the same on either side, so it doesn't matter which cap you use, which side. So if you take it off, it doesn't matter which side you replace it on. And the packaging looks a little more like metallic and sleek, but it actually feels a little bit like lighter weight plastic, and not necessarily in a bad way, but thinner plastic. Hopefully that means, you know, less was used in the making of it, but it doesn't feel super sturdy, and it's not very weighty. It's very light. Not a complaint, just an observation. So all that being said, let's test it on my hand first real quickly. Oh, it's hard. Okay, starting to warm up on my hand a little bit. Let me do one more swipe so you can see it. This is the About Face. pretty hard actually, pretty firm. Almost got a chalky. This is the Tint and Tame Florence by Mills. Much easier. The color payoff, the pigment seems to be kind of ashier and smokier from the About Face brow artist, whereas you get a nice full payoff from the Florence by Mills Tint and Tame. All right, now that we've tested that on the hand, let's go on to the eyebrow. You can definitely feel that it doesn't go on quite as smoothly. I can't get it to glide. I feel like it's catching. And when it catches, it almost like breaks off in chunks kind of. So it's depositing chunks of product into the hairs. You can really see in the tail of my brow where I don't have a lot of hair, it's really kind of not depositing a lot of color. I'm working on building it up. It seems to be able to build it, and as the product is getting warmer with being in contact with my skin, it does glide easier once it's kind of warmed up on the skin. Building it up too much is actually making it go over itself and get really chunky and waxy on top of itself, and almost a stickiness to it. And because it's waxing, it's clumping my brow hairs that I do have together. So hopefully we can rectify that with the spoolie. Again, same as with the other pencil, you really can't get precise with it. Even though the tip is a little bit finer on this one than the Florence by Mills, you can't get a very precise line going. And depending on your eyebrows, that might be okay for you. That might be all you need. Let's go ahead and use the spoolie and brush through it. This is a dense spoolie. It feels like it's definitely pulling out some of the product. I like that it's green, but it's very dense. It feels almost scratchy. Almost scratchy. Okay, well, so it's giving actually a different look, but I don't hate it. It's really, I'm complaining that the spoolie was kind of dense and really pulling the product, but because there has built up some of that wax on the brows and then it combed through, it actually really filled in like some of the brow hair, like bulked them up so that the brow hair are a little fuller, and you can see that there are still some kind of sparse spots, but it really is pulling them separate to give them a very, very like hair-like look. So there's very, like, all your hairs are really emphasized, so it doesn't look like one harsh line, you know, like those block eyebrows. So I would say it's a more natural look than the Tint and Tame, but I do like that, especially for lighter makeup days, no makeup days, you know, not wearing a lot of makeup. if sometimes I don't really wear much makeup, but I still want to fill in my brows because they are so sparse, this would be perfect for that. And I think you could still build it up with the other two products that I do use with this eyebrow pencil. That I think it would work quite well. Of course, I'd have to put that to the test, but I think that it actually looks quite nice and like naturally defined. So what do you think? Which is your preference? This is, again, the Brow Artist by Halsey. This is the Tint and Tame by Florence by Mills. So which brow do you like better? Now, my eyebrows are, I like to say that they're not only not twins, they're not even really sisters. They're probably more like distant cousins because the shape of them are quite different, especially around the front. So when I don't have a tool that is precise, I really do have a hard time matching the kind of style of each of my brows. Like one's more rounded, one's more angular, and without a precise tool, it's harder to fix it. So my very natural state is like cousin brows. But let me know in the comments below which one you prefer, if you've tried either of these, what your thoughts are. Overall, I think they're actually both great products. I think the price point is reasonable for either one. It's a little more of an expensive pencil, but not like it's not like a prestige high-end super expensive pencil, and it's not like an e.l.f. Wet n Wild pencil, so it is like somewhere in between. But even for someone like me who needs a lot of brow product to cover my brows, pencils like this do tend to last a long time. So for the price, especially when you can get them on sale, like at the Ulta spring event, or use a coupon or something like that, they're really a decent price. And for, I think I paid half of it, so I think I only paid $8 for the About Face pencil, and that is, I think, a steal at $8. So I will have to let you know how the Brow Artist stays and performs. I do know that the Tint and Tame stays well. I've worn it in cold weather, hot weather, in water sports and everything, and it performs well. It doesn't smudge. It doesn't like spread throughout your face throughout the day. So I definitely do recommend that one. Based on this, I do so far recommend the Brow Artist, and I like that. I like both of the components. If you are someone who likes a more precise, micro fine, like very skinny tip pencil, then these aren't the pencil for you, as you can see. But I think you have two excellent options, and let me know if you are going to try either of them out. My cousin Eyebrows and I thank you so much for watching this video. If you liked it, please do give it a thumbs up. And while you're here, click that subscribe button so you can come back for more videos like this. I will be back next week with a new video, but until then, take care of yourself.